Well, I want to thank Findacure for asking me to come and talk here. Putting together special fundraising events for your community. So we set up the Sohana Research Fund in 2011, initially under the umbrella of WK, but we took our own charity number in 2014. We are solely dedicated to researching and running clinical trials. We've funded 3 clinical trials thus far, raised almost £4.5 million. And we run it with a volunteer team. So we have an intern who does some of the social media, Twitter stuff. I kind of do a whole lot, but then there's a huge group of parents and friends who do a lot of the tasks and who we call on whenever we're running a big fundraising event. We are able to say that 100% of anything that's donated to the charity goes into research projects, and I think that's quite important because it's kind of us putting our money where our mouth is, and so people know that when they donate to us, that money is going to go to research. But now we'll kind of go into the main topic. These are the special events that we have run since 2011. The events in white are ones we did not ask payment for, and this is quite important and goes back to Cal's point about thanking people. We use those events to thank people and for their support, keep them in the loop, and give them research updates. And so we do not ask them to pay for coming to a research update meeting. We invite them because they've shown interest and they come in. So as you can see, in 2011, we went a little bit bonkers. We ran 3 big events. My parent team thought I was completely mental. But we were told that if we could find funding, we could run a clinical trial to giving mesenchymal stromal cells to children with EB to see if it helped the condition at all. And that trial started in 2013 at Great Ormond Street. It was actually on the BBC. And we're hopefully going to get an interim treatment out of that in, well, this year, because we're going to get a bioreactor and start giving cells to children with EB. So the year after that, we'd sort of hit everyone we knew really, really hard. And we didn't think that we could then have another dinner the next year. We left that year. What did we do in that year? Not a lot. And then, yeah, we had a few things in 2013 and 2014. So we now have biennial dinners. We've got one in 3 weeks' time at Reba again, so we're sticking to that venue at the moment. And, well, there's a lot to do for it. So this is what one of our dinners looks like. We have a champagne reception, we've got musicians, we have a dinner, magicians at the tables, we'll have speeches, a video, a pledge, and live and silent auction. The first year, in 2011, we had 204 people attend the dinner at Altitude 360, and we raised over £240,000. It cost about 30, so that's quite a big kickback. That has gone up each year. So in 2013 it was about 360,000 at Reba, and in 2015 we managed to raise over £500,000 at that Reba dinner. But it's a huge amount of work, and the way we try and do it is to try and get hosts, table hosts, to then gather people into the event. And I think, you know, there's so many things that is involved in running a big dinner like this. You've got to have, you know, you send out e-flyers, you get the date in newsletters, mail-outs, research update meetings, New Year's postcards. You print a nice invitation, it gets people excited about the event. We send out a sneak preview of auction items. You want to be sending, or you want to get out dietary cards, you send them bidding instruction cards, pledge cards. At the moment we're started to use iPads. You have to print menus, You have to get vouchers for prizes and thank you slips. You do need a team of people to help you, not only in running the event on the night, but also getting their contacts in, getting stuff for goodie bags, magazines, books, whatever, candles, and putting together a brochure and things like that. So it is quite a big undertaking. You can't really do it. You need all the contacts. I think that's the main thing. You do need to have people around you who can help you get people inside who might not necessarily know about your charity or what you're planning to do. So, key lessons. What are you aiming for? Are you looking for a level of funding, or are you just looking for awareness of the condition and getting your message out there? So what kind of a return are you getting on your investment in this dinner? And what can you charge for your ticket? What can you charge per ticket? How many people are you going to invite? How are you planning to pay for the event? And what will make this a success? The amount of money raised, or that awareness and those people going off and telling other people about your charity and what you're doing? Your core supporters are really important. Your family, your friends, the people around you. If you're a parent of a child, then use those sympathies of other parents around you, and that is literally what I have done. You need their skills to tap into for auction prizes. If you've got celebrity guests or something like that, it really, really helps. If you can get someone, a celebrity, to talk for your charity or be on a photograph or something like that, it really, really helps. Get the date in people's diaries well in advance. Remind them, book the venues, entertainers, auctioneers, and start getting all the paperwork together. It takes an awful lot of time. Now, it's quite funny me talking about planning in advance. I've taken the team from nothing to a dinner in 2 months, and they haven't thanked me for it. But we're trying to be more proactive and more planned from now on. So we did actually book Reba early last year for this year's dinner. Now, I've said look professional, and I cannot tell you how important this is. I am a complete numpty, and if it wasn't for my children helping me colour the backgrounds of these slides, they'd be all white. The graphic design of your event is important, and I think one of the most important people that I had when we started off was a graphic designer friend who has made everything look beautiful from the start, so it looks as if you're far more professional, as if you know what you're doing, even though you don't, and you're learning as you go along. So that is important. If you send out a crappy little invitation that doesn't look very nice, you're not going to put in certain people. So all that side of things is quite important. And you have to, if you're running a big dinner, you have to have the flowers on the tables, the place cards, the menus printed, all those sorts of things. Pens for the auction slips. We started off with auction slips, now we're on to iPads, but you still need pens because we still have pledge cards on the table. And then you want to engage people at the dinner. I think the best way to get them is to get them to enjoy themselves. So really get them drunk is a really, really good tip. They need to be having a really good time, and the way we do it is they're having a really good time, then we make them very sad about the condition, basically, so that they're having a good time. You then show them what the condition's like, and they fully understand why they're there, and you engage them on the spot. And if you have got a lot of friends and family and supporters in the room who know you, then and you can give them a story of hope. You can't give them anything definite, but at the moment, particularly when you're talking about something like EB, there's progress. Gene therapy, there is progress in this area. There's a whole lot of technologies out there that are that are giving us quite a lot of hope. And make sure you thank people after the event, and keep them updated with progress, because you unfortunately will be going back to them. And in the time that we've been running, we've kept a lot of supporters. You're going to lose a lot of supporters as well. Research is difficult because people want to see they want to see immediate progress. They want to see something being built. Research takes time. You can't jump huge steps a lot of the time. And actually, one lesson I have learned is keep on top of your admin. If you're starting off, keep your contacts, keep it all clean, because I just got completely swamped with admin after the first year. We're still picking it up. So the top tip: go for it, but have a clear vision of what you're trying to aim for. So when I told my husband that we were going to start fundraising for research because there was this massive fundraising gap, he said, "Don't be ridiculous. You don't know what you're doing. You've never run a dinner like this. What are you hoping to achieve?" And I said, "I want to have a dinner somewhere high in London, in a big room with about 200 people," and that's the way it started off. So one of my other features is that I'm quite pig-headed and determined. Then him saying you're not going to achieve anything meant that I thought, okay, I'm going to this is possible. And yeah, it was a learning curve, because the room we chose wasn't perfect for an auction by any stretch. It was an L-shaped room, but it did have a fantastic view over London. People had a really good time, and you end up getting thanked for a charity fundraising event, which I always think is quite peculiar. So if they're having a good time, they'll thank you and feel as if they've been part of something really important. And that same year, we were able to say, we're progressing towards a clinical trial. And yes, that progress is great, and you're not always going to have that, but try and make it as fun as possible. But be also realistic about what you can do. There are lots of demands on people's pockets, and it's going to depend on the disposable income of the people who you can bring in. So don't, be realistic in that sense. You try and work out who's going to come to the dinner, and also see if you can get sponsors to take some of the costs. Things will go wrong. You will get delays, you'll be fighting price with printers, with venues. We're having fun at the moment with Rebo, who've increased their AV costs by almost 50 or 59% or something like that, without telling us. We had once, in our first dinner, we had a printer of the brochures suddenly hiking his price last minute, and we needed the brochures, but unfortunately my husband is a barrister, so got all legal, and he played ball. If you get stressed about handling large numbers of people, don't do it. You've got to have a Zen-like approach to it. I think some of my team would say I'm far too laid back and leave everything far too last minute. So again, this, I think one of them was writing place cards the night before once, and she said, "Never again. You're not going to do that to me ever again." So this year we've got 3 weeks to go. I've got the place cards. We're going to start writing them next week, so we're much better. Each year you do a dinner, change an element, find new things to give people. They're not going to want the same thing every time. One entertainer we had was someone called Miss Ballooniverse. This year we might have something else. The musicians are always great. And keep your core close. I can't believe that when we started off, I started by speaking to a group of parents at my daughter's school, and some of them said, "Right, we're going to help." Those people have stayed with me all this time. I can't believe it. We've added a few more as the kids have gone through the school, and I could never say thank you enough to them. But also your table hosts, often, if they're having a good time, if their guests have had a good time, they're going to come back again as well. So, and it takes the stress out of having to find 200 guests. If you're asking table hosts to find guests, then that's, you're taking some of that stress away from yourself. And just keep learning. We're learning all the time. Keep learning from other charities, from things that have gone wrong. But stay positive. And it's fun at the end of the day. And it's worth it. And even though sometimes just before I dinner I think, oh God, I can't believe we're going to do this again. You always meet new people. You always find new contacts. Somebody will bring someone onto a table who you wouldn't have reached otherwise, and that person might know someone else who can help with something. But really, that's kind of all I need to say. And thank you. This is Sohana.